Northlands friends, family, I'm Nate.
And I'm Liz, and we're the Chanceys.
Back in August, just to get straight to the point, I found myself in the unemployment line for the first time in my life. I got laid off amidst COVID, and 8 months after we had our first child, and 8 months after we made the decision for Elizabeth to stay home, which really amplified the concern and the overwhelm that was attributed to losing my job. So those of you who've gone through that stuff before, you know the emotions start rolling in, maybe some of the self-doubt, some of the uncertainty. You start getting beat up, and it's tough. It's not for the faint of heart. But almost immediately, God really reached his hand down and started providing. And one thing he was talking to us about was this concept of giving us our daily bread, and how we wouldn't have to worry about our basic needs. What are we gonna eat? What are we gonna drink? What are we gonna wear? What's Cecilia, our daughter, gonna wear? So naturally, there was a lot of concern, and it was tough, but
it was really cool how God came through. Like you said, there was two really specific examples that we were excited to share with you guys. One of them was that we got a $500 medical bill unexpectedly, and we weren't sure how we were going to cover it, and prayed about it, and literally the next day in the mail we got an anonymous check for $500, and that being the exact amount of the bill. It was just so crazy, because God was just showing us, you know what, like, maybe you don't have that job yet, but look, I'm providing for you. And then like a month later, it was the first time that we were gonna have difficulty covering our rent, and the amazing Hannah Shackelford shows up at our door with an anonymous check from somebody in the church, and we don't know who it was, but they provided literally within $100 of the amount of our rent. And we hadn't even told people that we were gonna have trouble paying our rent. So it was just unbelievable how he just said, like, look, I'm giving you your daily bread.
Through that process, I was having conversations with people left and right, like a madman, and getting turned down by a lot of people, which was frustrating and exhausting. And in my need for control, I was trying to make things happen. In the same vein, we didn't feel peace. And so a few opportunities surfaced where we were on the brink of saying yes, and we ended up saying no, despite our dire need. Long story short, a company called me, well, not a company, that would be impossible. An individual called me, co-owner for a company that I had met 5 years prior in a previous position, and reached out and said, hey, what are you doing for work these days? And I said, actually, I'm not doing anything for work these days. What you got? And they ended up extending an opportunity for us to contract me out to come work for them in the interim through December 31st. And it was a pretty cool opportunity in construction, a new industry. So it was exciting and new. So I said, yes, let's do it. And then weeks later, had a meeting with the co-founders, and they said, hey, we're looking for somebody like you to fill a big need in business operations. Are you interested? And came home.
And we said, yes!
Spoke to Elizabeth, and it was like, yeah, heck yeah, it's on, So we sat down and had a conversation about 4 or 5 things that we needed as a family, around finances, around flexibility, around this and that. And
one audacious prayer was that his new salary would not only replace his old salary, but also add on the salary that we gave up when we decided for me to stay home, which felt like super bold.
So they ended up cornering me the next day and said, what do you guys need financially? And I threw out that number, and it was like they didn't blink an eye. They said, yeah, I think we can probably manage that. So all that to say, God's a big God, and he is a God of immeasurably more.